We're going to start in a moment because I'll record this and we'll jump
Sure.
on, Paul. So just a quick welcome as well to Angela and to Scott. Hey there.
Hello.
Thanks for joining. How are you, Angela?
Yeah, well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, great. Thank you. Hello, Chris. How are you?
I'm great, Pete. How are you? Welcome back to the UK.
Great to see an existing SILVERPEAKer on here.
I wasn't sure if we had the invite or not.
Well, you're welcome to join, but you'll be kicking off on climb number 3. So I may well
true.
bring you in for some questions on, given that you've been on the existing climb for months.
Yes, I was going to say, Pete, if I didn't have to be here, I had something else I had to do. So,
Okay.
I mean, it's up to you. I mean, all I can say to the people who are there is it's extremely valuable. So stay with it. Keep climbing.
Well done, Chris. And we can see you're right there in the middle of your house build and running your agency. Hence, it looks like you're camping.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, exactly what I'm doing. So
if you need to drop off, Chris, do so by all means. I'm going to kick this off now because we're going to keep it fairly swift to go through what SILVERPEAK's about and leave as much time as we can for some open discussion and Q&A.
Excellent. Thanks, Pete. All the best, guys. You'll enjoy it. Cheers.
Thanks, Chris. See you soon.
Bye.
So for some reason, the Zoom Us tool decided to crash and stop recording at that point. So I'm just going to represent the slide material that we've just covered live in that session with Chris and Mark and Scott and Angela and the team and take you through what this is all about. That's the SILVERPEAK Challenge and to work out whether this just might suit you. So the SILVERPEAK Challenge has a simple aim, and that is to get 12 marketing consultants as small agencies to the level of HubSpot Silver Partner by the end of the year. So I'm Pete Nichols. I'm the Director and Marketing Technologist for HubDo. HubDo is a HubSpot Platinum Partner, but we are the only 100% wholesale Platinum Partner. What that means is that we are 100% dedicated to helping agencies and helping agencies grow, and doing that using programs such as SILVERPEAK2. So let's have a look at what this is about. It's about meeting this need. We work with a lot of marketing consultants around the world, and marketing consultants often want to move from projects to more stable monthly retainer type of work with their clients, to be able to embrace the global move from tactics through to more of an inbound strategy. Inbound being the realignment of your business go-to-market to the way that your customers like to now research and buy and be supported. Marketing consultants often want to be able to establish value rather than just looking at the cost of what things take to run, but also understanding the value that can be created and the business impact of that. Now, often when surveys are taken of end user clients, this is business owners, of what are they looking through, what are they looking for from their marketing, what's the greatest challenge, and that is the delivery of return on investment. So marketing consultants really want to deliver that return on investment for clients. And also as a small agency, it's important to be able to carve out a point of recognition about the level that you're operating at. And so achieving HubSpot Silver status and above, because that requires a great deal of understanding of many facets of marketing today, that achieving that is a level of recognition. So HubDo, what we do, we work with marketing consultants who want to grow, but are often daunted or really frustrated by just what it takes to build an inbound agency. So getting to HubSpot Silver, well, there's a simple process to that really, and that is become a HubSpot partner, sell and deliver HubSpot, so solutions on the HubSpot software platform, and provide a great return on investment for clients. Now, the challenges particularly for a small agency, small consultancy, is that there is a lot to do. So getting your arms around learning all of the HubSpot platform and its capabilities, because it is incredibly capable, and there are many certifications related to different parts of the software. So coming to terms with that. Then there's the purchase of and the support of a HubSpot professional level marketing license as a subscription for your own agency. There is a cost and a complexity associated with having that and making it work. So for a smaller agency, our aim is to help overcome the challenges of meeting the cash flow and the support requirements around having your own professional level version of HubSpot. Also around attracting good fit clients, to have a good 90-day pipeline of clients that are ideally suited to your agency and what you do, and be able to scope and sell inbound retainer services to deliver ongoing value on that platform. Now, when you have a client that's a great fit and you're ready to move ahead, then having an onboarding process to bring the client in and getting the information in and loaded, building the campaigns on the HubSpot platform for them, and having the marketing technology skills to build websites, build the landing pages, to deal with the technology and the interworking of that in MarTech, having the backup of that, and also becoming your own best case study. Now, there's a syndrome called cobbler's children. The cobbler's children are the last ones shod, being that the shoemaker, the cobbler, takes care of making shoes, fantastic shoes for everybody else, but focuses less on shoes for himself and his own family. So the same thing happens really with marketing agencies. We spend so much time focused on what the client needs and getting the results for the client that we don't necessarily invest time in our own platforms and services to showcase and become our own best case study. So this is a big part of what we do, is to helping you do that. And then to be able to deliver great results for your clients, to scale and to grow to the level that you're aiming. So these are the challenges that I see specifically certainly present for smaller agencies and single marketing consultants. So this photo was taken in Dublin in late 2017 at HubSpot, where I was attending a bootcamp course with standing on my left, or to your right, is Dan Tyre in the Howdy Partner shirt. So Dan Tyre is a fantastically talented, gregarious character at HubSpot. He is a HubSpot salesperson, a HubSpot employee number 6 as the first salesperson employed by the company. So Dan spends a lot of time sharing his knowledge and skills with the HubSpot partner community in programs such as the 8-week pipeline generation bootcamp that Dan runs. And also standing on my other side is David Winehouse. David is supremely talented at nurturing and mentoring agencies, again in a bootcamp context, of how to establish value and how to sell value and how to be able to deliver a great return as a service on HubSpot. So here in Dublin, this was a sales-related boot camp that I was attending, and it really got me thinking that for smaller agencies, an 8-week boot camp is great, but really to form part of a collaborative team and to climb together over a period of months to achieve stage by stage, I felt that there was room for something beyond the Lion boot camps of the 8-week duration, and to have a common goal in mind. And that's where this came from. So in October 2017, we came up with SILVERPEAK. And SILVERPEAK is really about having marketing consultants climbing together to reach HubSpot Silver Partner status. It's a simple goal with many facets to it in order to get there. So let's have a look at how it works and whether maybe this suits you. So if SILVERPEAK's right for you, it's probably because you want a helping hand on the journey ahead. You want processes and services to deliver your retainers, so you could lean on HubDo for that. You want marketing technology, domains, HubSpot CMS support, so we have that as well. And you want to be held accountable. You want to become your own best case study, and that means not suffer from cobbler's children syndrome, but to be able to show clients, yes, this works fantastically well. Inbound works. Have a look at what I'm doing in my own business for my own agency. That gives great confidence in being able to show that it's working and it's working for you. So that's a really key part of that. And that you don't want to do this alone. You want to learn and scale and grow together as part of a team on HubSpot, and that you naturally have a collaborative, open way of working, which lends itself to being part of a community. So if that sounds like you, then maybe SILVERPEAK is a great fit. So how it works, let's have a look at the climb, a little more on HubDo, and focus on what to expect. So this is how we're running the current climb that started in November 2018 and how we'll run this next climb that we're about to start, which is SILVERPEAK2. So there's two teams, East and West. The Eastern team covers the time zone for Australia, New Zealand, and Asia Pacific, and climbing at exactly the same rates, coming from the other direction, is the West team for North America, for US and Canada, and Europe, Middle East, and Africa, predominantly UK and Ireland and Western Europe as part of a combined team. The two teams climb at the same rate. So one of the benefits of that has been that during a climb where there are weekly calls taking place, if the time zone doesn't fit you on a particular week and you really want to attend the call live, which you should, as that's where most of the learning comes in, then you can get up at whatever hour it is in your time zone and join the other call. Several agencies have done that, and it's a great way to stay connected and meet the other side of the team as well. So we use a mountain climbing analogy here towards SILVERPEAK, using a start at base camp, then climb and have a camp, climb again, another camp, climb again, another camp. And it just so happens that Mount Everest has 5 climbs in total with 4 camps to get to the peak. So we kind of model it on that. To begin with, you don't need much at all in terms of software to get started. We just get you onto the HubSpot free CRM if you don't already have it, and have the absolute base level of HubSpot marketing toolset, and then begin the planning and the learning, so that as you move through and get through climb 1 and climb 2, that at some point, if you don't already have the version of HubSpot software that lets you do full inbound, then at some point it makes sense to invest and have that, even if it's just the basic version. And then you continue to build, you create business impact. In fact, if you can do this really well, it will help put you forward for an impact award. And then at some point, if you're aiming for that goal of reaching silver, if you're not already a HubSpot partner, then it's at some point you need to sign up to be that, so that you can take that last push to the summit to get to silver. Of course, beyond silver, then comes HubSpot Gold and Platinum and Diamond. And some of the agencies on the existing climb are on their way there. But this is what the SILVERPEAK climb looks like. So we break the journey into bite-sized chunks. We look at marketing your agency, selling and delivering for your clients, and we tie that into the software that HubSpot provides. So the Marketing Hub, the Sales Hub, and even the Customer Hub, which is not released yet. But during 2018, that software will become available for inbound customer support, customer services, and we'll build that into. So by breaking it into bite-sized chunks, it's more achievable, particularly for a smaller agency. And so this is what it looks like. Your starting point may well differ from the other agencies just at the beginning. You might be coming in as someone who is already a HubSpot partner but haven't yet reached silver, therefore you'd be classed as an untiered partner. Or maybe you're not a partner at all and have little to no HubSpot already. So you could be on the free version, Marketing Starter, or Marketing Basic. So if during the enrollment you believe, yep, this is a great fit for me, I want to be in, then we move into the first climb. And the first 2 climbs are a lot of planning. So as we move through that, some agencies, of course, are having success with their clients as well and begin to grow. And we reach a point where if you don't have at least the HubSpot Marketing Basic level license, at some point there, in order to stay on the program, you'd then need to buy that. And then in the execute phase, we get you really using your HubSpot and using it well to do your marketing on HubSpot and to be prospecting and connecting with clients. And then at some point, in order to make that level through to HubSpot Silver, is to upgrade to Agency Pro. So if you start as an untiered partner, you already have Agency Pro. It's just that if you didn't, then you would need to be stepping up the line as you go eventually to get into that silver category. So let's have a look at the existing climb that started in November 2017. I'm delighted that 7 of those agencies have reached silver. In fact, a couple of them are now on their way to gold. And there's more that within the next few weeks will become silver as well. So we're progressing. This is what the numbers look like At the enrollment stage, 22 of the agencies that joined were in fact already untiered HubSpot partners. They just hadn't reached Silver yet. One agency using a HubSpot Basic license, and then 9 other agencies who had little to no HubSpot. There's also 5 agencies which I qualified out. They just weren't a good fit for the program for some of the things that I covered with you a little earlier. So then as we move through, those who didn't have any HubSpot, they bought the HubSpot sales software because there was a special at the time. It made sense to do that. And then we've spent the last few months really in that planning sector. So Climb 1 and Climb 2 has taken place there. During that time, 3 agencies decided, look, now's not the right time for me, either through workload or family situation, decided I need to bow out, which is fine. 6 agencies continued on and put HubSpot Basic in place. And also, as I mentioned, 7 agencies have reached Silver. So we've been able to celebrate that as a team and give a good pat on the back to those who have made that grade already. So right now for that group, we're in the execute phase, and that's where we're really getting the marketing done on the HubSpot platforms that they each have. At some point, everybody there, if they continue, will upgrade to Agency Pro, including the 6 that bought HubSpot Basic and the one who already had it. But that's just based on that they want to continue through to Silver. So HubDo, I mentioned we're 100% wholesale only HubSpot Platinum partner. We're active in supporting agencies in over 10 countries today around the world, and therefore we operate in each of the time zones. We have an operations team, HubDo Professional Services. They are there to help deliver retainers if you need that, and they're all HubSpot certified to back you if you want that confidence of a team that you can call on. I'm leading the SILVERPEAK Climb, and I'm doing that as a HubSpot certified trainer. This accreditation just came out at the end of 2017, so I make sure that I've got the latest in skills and training available from the fantastic resources from the HubSpot Academy. And also, just as a little bit of background, my background is working for a vendor called Cisco. I was with Cisco for 16 years. You may know of them. And during that time, I helped a large groups of the partner community overcome the challenges that happened through waves of technology change over multiple years during that time. And what I see happening now is that marketing has now become software, so that the technical complications married with the business solution needs are very familiar territory for my background previous there. So hence this SILVERPEAK challenge is somewhat along the lines of some of the previous programs that I was involved in, and therefore we've got a proven model here. So the SILVERPEAK2 challenge, this is the second running of SILVERPEAK in addition to the one that started late last year. The format is group mentoring led by myself and the HubDo team. It'll run over 9 months because each climb is 4 weeks on, then a 4-week camp, 4 weeks as another climb, and a 4-week camp. So over a period of 9 months, we get those 5 climbs done. We grow together and we do lots of role play. This is why it's really important to show up on the calls and be there and participate, because pretty much everyone agrees that that's where a huge part of the learning comes from. You can hear the theory of having a different type of customer conversation, learning to define and sell value. You really need to get into that conversation and try it on for size and get comfortable with feeling uncomfortable and learning those skills. So the role play is a lot of fun, and that also forms part of the homework as well that comes up. So we work on incremental steps. We have short-term goals. It's really well suited if you're a solo consultant or a small agency without an inbound team. You do not need to be a HubSpot partner day one. And it's also ideal if you are a HubSpot partner, but you haven't yet reached Silver. You're still untiered with HubSpot. The important thing here is that you're not locked in. You can opt out at any time if you choose this is not for you. But right up front, it's best to decide, do you think that this 9-month challenge is well suited for you? Because start with the end in mind and be part of the community which has this common goal to help each other to get to that peak, to get to the silver peak. So what to expect? How does this feel once you're in it? What does it look like? So this chart shows the climb where we've got each of the 4-week steps to a climb to get up to camp 1 for 4 weeks, and then another 4-week climb and a 4-week camp. So what's happening along the way, we start with base camp with just the marketing starter software, and we spend those first 4 weeks covering material around the exploratory call, that first critical meeting that you have with a prospective client to understand what's going on in their business. Where are they? Where do they want to get to? How far can they get doing what they're doing? And is there a gap? How big is that gap? Can you help them close it? This is an exploratory to understand what value is missing here and what needs to be created, and are you the right agency to do that? In parallel with that, in the first climb, we also look at your own marketing for your agency as a delivering agency success plan. So we start the building out of your own marketing and framework using the same sort of process that you would do with a client and applying it to yourself. The first camp is a lot of consolidation then of just catching up on some homework and putting some of this in place, or a little more research around things like your target buyer persona. Then we move into the second climb where it's a little further in the sales process. So you've had the exploratory call and the meeting and understood what value is needed to be created. So then moving into goal setting and planning, the meeting where you define this in marketing targets is where we need to get you to in order to hit your business goals. Handling the objections and the discussion around that to make sure it's a really good fit for the customer in order to close it out as a deal to go ahead or one that won't. That should be a mutual decision. And the work continues as well around your own marketing. So in climb number 2, the content strategy, your pillar page, your first inbound campaign for your agency is being put together in that second climb. Now the little blue boxes I've got here at the end of June, this is the end of that first 3-month period of climbs and camps. And that's where you'd be making the decision, am I continuing on towards climb 3? Because I'm going to need some HubSpot software. And so if you aren't already a HubSpot partner, you'd be buying HubSpot Basic at that time in order to press ahead. So by doing that, move on to climb 3. So we execute your plan for your agency in your HubSpot portal, have it really delivering value, and then focusing on pipeline generation and selling value-based retainers. As we get to the 4th climb, it's about delivering client success and working out when does it make sense to upgrade so that you become a HubSpot partner. Pardon me. I've put the customer hub in there as well, and the establishment of getting to HubSpot Silver. Customer hub is that software that's not released yet, but will handle customer support through HubSpot. So some tools and some terms of what you'd need. In terms of a tool set, you need HubSpot, but you also need access to the HubSpot Academy courses. Now, unless you're a partner, you don't get to see the courses that are specifically for agency partners. So by working together, we use the access that HubDo has to those courses in order to get you certified in some select courses that are really valuable at different stages of the climb. We also support you via HubDo. We use a software platform called Basecamp. You may know it already. It's a great collaboration tool. We set up a project to support you for your SILVERPEAK progress and for supporting your agency, and also helping to collaborate with you if you want help on the deals that you're considering. The terms of being involved, we're sharing commercially sensitive information at times. So it's important to understand that information shared and visible is commercial in confidence. For example, you'll have access into my HubDo HubSpot portal. So the information that you see in there is commercial in confidence. And in turn, you provide basic access for me, not full access, but just a certain level to help support you by accessing your agency portal as well. And of course, I treat that information as commercial in confidence too. If you're needing any services from HubDo to support you, there is a pricing list we call the Value Points Catalog. So we share that with you, and that's just for your private agency use as well. We share that with you via your Basecamp. So really, expectations on you to be part of this would be that you do attend the SILVERPEAK calls in each climb. So 1 call per week when a climb is underway. There is homework set as well. So missing 2 calls in 1 climb would impact your ability to participate. And so it may make sense to exit the program if you just can't be on the calls. The calls are recorded, so you can watch the replays. A lot of information gets shared, so you are bound to want to watch some of them multiple times to just pick up certain points. The homework expectation that really you should aim to keep up with that. I did have a question from Paul, who was on the live broadcast, about the level of homework. Best to estimate, say, an hour a day of working on this, because sometimes it will be some additional role play for handling a conversation, or it will be some research on maybe validating and interviewing some customers around persona validation, journey validation. So an hour a day for the duration of the climbs. During the camps, there will be varying levels of things that you can optionally tune into, such as some masterclasses on certain topics where we'll bring in an external speaker to cover a one-off call. Now, if at any stage you're not happy, there is a small charge to participate. So there's 100% refund on that if you decide that this is just not for me, because of course, yeah, we want you to be happy that the investment is a really solid one for you. The main investment is that you're going to need software subscriptions at certain points. So my aim here is to smooth that out so that you can invest at the times that it really makes sense, so that as an agency you can sustain your growth. And of course, you can opt out of the challenge at any time and just carry on your own way if you choose to. So the cost from HubDo's point of view, it's down to our lowest definitive billable item, which is a value point. A value point is one single fixed unit of value. So 1 value point per climb. So that would be 5 points in total over the 9 months. And a value point to an end customer, if you were selling services based on value points, that price would be something like $190 Australian for a value point, or in US dollars, it would be 150 US dollars. But you're using an agency price point on that. So you're looking at $107 Australian, 107.64 plus GST if you're in Australia, for a single point. So that would mean for an agency paying Australian dollars, it's $107.64 for a climb. So it would be 5 times that over the course of 9 months if you're continuing in the program, and of course refundable if you're not happy. The cost in other currencies I've mentioned there, that's the agency price, 85 US, approximately 62 pounds, or 70 euros per climb. Now the software, to get started, the minimum software, if you don't already have HubSpot, would be Marketing Starter. That's a subscription, which is US $50 per month. That's all you need really to get started. By the time you get to climb 3, you'll have a whole marketing plan for your agency. So you need at least to upgrade to HubSpot Marketing Basic to be able to execute on that, and also to get the entry-level sales starter license, which is US $50 per month. So you would upgrade from Marketing Starter to Marketing Basic if you didn't already have it, and you would add Sales Starter. Then at some point, if you're really pushing for Silver, you're going to end up on HubSpot Pro. And so pricing for that is up on the HubSpot website. You'll be getting that from HubSpot, and we can help you do that by coordinating with our contacts at HubSpot with you to help you with that. So that's what the costs look like to participate. The timing, each climb has 1 call per week, 1 call for East, 1 call for West. For this climb, I'm looking at running those calls on a Wednesday. So the call timings will be confirmed for each stage of the climb. In fact, we may well be changing this call from Wednesday. It could be Tuesday or it could be Thursday. So we're just working on firming that up. But that's the plan at this stage. The call timings will be confirmed as we get closer to launch at the beginning of April. And the timings, I'm running those calls from where I'm based in London. So for the Western team, I run the later call at 4 p.m. That means that it's in the morning to middle of the day for North America, and it's in the 5 p.m. time slot for Europe. For the Eastern call to cover Asia Pacific, it's 4 p.m. Sydney time, and the associated times as their deltas from that Sydney time. So what we do in the first climb, we focus on the exploratory call. So this graphic, if you haven't seen it, this is from the sales process that HubSpot teaches in the academy for selling inbound. So identifying good fit clients, connecting with them, and then this critical step of the exploratory call. There's a fantastic lady at HubSpot, a very successful channel account manager in the US, Jill Fratian. Jill coined the phrase, the exploratory call is the new closing call. And this is on the basis that really that first exploratory meeting where you're figuring out and you're asking insightful questions about the business. Where are they? Where do they want to get to? How far can they get without you? What's the gap? Why do they want to get there? All the implications of that. That's a really critical information to get on that first exploratory. So we spend our first climb on that. The reason we start there and not at the beginning is that this is a bit like think of a restaurant scenario. You want to work out what menu you're serving and what meals you're serving to deliver a fantastic experience before you go out to the street and start bringing clients, prospects into your store. So let's get that part right first, the exploratory call. We get that and then the advisory stage in the next climb done, and then we move into a prospecting mode on a future climb. So this is where we start, and what we do in parallel also on climb one is that we start with your marketing plan for your agency of delivering client success for you. So we start with the content audit of what do you have already to use for building inbound for your agency, setting some goals, turning those into marketing targets and identifying the business impact of those targets by hitting them, and also the target persona. That is the person, the buyer persona, and the buyer profile of what sort of company that you're servicing as an ideal fit client, and validating that. This is climb number one. Every climb has detail that I'll share with you at the time. So in terms of questions, I've touched on expectations around homework. We've talked about the costs. Had a discussion with Scott on the call as well about agency positioning. That is one of the things that we do actually on the very first call, is that we help you identify, what do you do? That question, when someone says to you, hey, so what do you do? It's that dreaded question that many folks are uncomfortable of what to say, and they maybe answer it a little differently every time. But it's really empowering to be clear on who you help. So let me give you an example. Say for HubDo as a company, if people say, so Pete, what do you do? I'd say, well, I work with marketing consultants who want to grow, but they're frustrated or maybe daunted by what it takes to grow an inbound agency. That's my my positioning statement. So that's a really useful thing to have. We expand more on that. Some great learning from David Winehouse I mentioned earlier around a concept called the 3-sale sale. So we do that in the very first lesson, and we role play some of this as well. So yeah, I'm sure you'll certainly, from all of those who have participated so far, I've been speaking to many of the agencies as we regroup on the first group. They're about to enter climb number 3, so partway through, and all of the scores I've been getting back when I ask on a scale of 0 to 10, would you recommend this to other agencies? I've had almost entirely 10s, a couple of 9s. It's all 9s and 10s. fantastic feedback of how much value people feel they're getting from it. And so if you think it's a good fit for you, I'd love you to be a part of it. Hopefully I've covered expectations to work out whether you would be interested to join. Here's what you do. If you haven't already, register your interest at www.hubdo.com/silverpeak so I can liaise with you on whether you want to be in or not. To catch up with me one-on-one, you can use the little chat button on the corner of the HubDo website or the contact us page to book time with me direct into my diary. If you're deciding to go ahead, I have a PandaDoc document that I'll send you so you can read through that, sign it off to accept and go. And there's some other steps that we'd complete that I've mentioned on there, including 1 value point from HubDo to start your climb, which is refundable if unhappy. So first in best dressed, we did have to close off the last course because it was oversubscribed. So here, if you're interested, just let me know and hopefully you can be a part of the climb. So any questions, please reach out to me. Are you up for the challenge of the Silver Peak Challenge to get to that first silver tier and beyond? The climb begins in the first week of April, just after Easter. And if you're interested, then please register at the hubdo.com/silverpeak page. I look forward to catching up with you and helping you in 2018. Thanks for your time. Thanks for joining. Cheers.